Hi, today I'm going to go through the process of setting up an anaesthetic machine. But before I start, I thought we'd look at where the oxygen flows in the system. So we'll start off at the oxygen cylinder over here. You'll notice that the oxygen cylinder is connected to the wall by a chain. At the top of the oxygen cylinder we have a valve which opens and closes the cylinder, and we have what we call a regulator that's attached to the cylinder, and that decreases the pressure within the cylinder down to a pressure that we can use in our anaesthetic machine. It also has a gauge which tells us how much oxygen there is left in the cylinder. So the oxygen cylinder is connected to this pipe here, and that pipe is connected to the back of the anaesthetic machine here. If we go around to the front of the anaesthetic machine, we see that the white pipe is connected to the white, what we call flow meter, and oxygen comes through that pipe into the flow meter and then passes out at the top into the anaesthetic vaporizer. Within the vaporizer, the oxygen gets anaesthetic gas added, and it then comes out through the top here down this tube which is called our circuit, and it then gets delivered to the animal via this mask, and excess waste gas is filtered via this charcoal filter. So that's essentially how the oxygen moves through the system, and it's often a good way when we think about anaesthetic machines and setting them up to follow the path of the oxygen and check how the oxygen flows, that we've set up the machine correctly. So we'll first of all start off here with the oxygen cylinder. So the oxygen cylinder has a regulator attached. So first of all, we're going to show you how to attach the regulator. Before I take this regulator off, we need to ensure that the oxygen cylinder is fully closed off, and there's a valve here that tells you the direction to screw, so clockwise to close the valve off. So we'll do that, and I'll just unscrew here to remove the regulator so I can show you how to attach it. So here is the regulator, and so that attaches via some little pins on the top of the cylinder there. Each type of gas cylinder has a different pin connection, so you can't connect the wrong regulator to the wrong cylinder. So that just slips over the top of the cylinder, and we just need to make sure that the little knob on the left hand side engages with the cylinder, and then we gently screw that up. Until we get a tight seal. So the regulator's now on nice and tight. We don't want that to be blasting off when we open up the oxygen cylinder. So we should be able to open the oxygen cylinder now, and this cylinder is pretty much empty, but it will do for the purposes of this demonstration. You'll see that the oxygen gauge is just in that empty zone. There's just a little bit of a gas left in there. So we follow the tubing round through to our actual anaesthetic machine here. I'm just going to disconnect the circuit first of all. So the first part of the anaesthetic machine where the oxygen enters is called the flow meter. Now we've got two flow meters on this anaesthetic machine. We've got one with a white knob and one with a blue knob. And if you look at the top of the machine, The one with the white knob has got oxygen flowing through it. The one with the blue knob has nitrous oxide, which is another type of anaesthetic gas that we sometimes use. However, with this machine, although it has a nitrous oxide flow meter, it doesn't actually have a nitrous oxide cylinder connected to it. So basically just the oxygen flow meter works. So when we twist the knob anti-clockwise, you might see that within the flow meter there's what we call a bobbin, and that bobbin is actually going round and round with the flow of oxygen. And you'll see that the actual flow meter is marked off in units, and these units at the top here are in litres per minute. As you go down, you'll see you've got smaller units, they're in 0.1 divisions there. So when we set up an anaesthetic machine and have turned on the oxygen, we also test to make sure we're actually getting a flow of oxygen through the machine. So we're now going to turn that off by twisting the knob clockwise. Now the oxygen comes up through the flow meter and then into what we call the vaporizer, which is here. And this vaporizer has got isoflurane in it if it was filled up. We've got a little window here, we can see the level of isoflurane. In this case the vaporizer is empty. Normally we like to keep the level of isoflurane between the two lines there, the maximum and minimum line. And then from the vaporizer the gas comes out through the outlet tube here. So here we have the anaesthetic outlet to which we connect our anaesthetic circuit. So this is our anaesthetic circuit, so that just connects into there. And this particular anaesthetic circuit goes to a face mask here, and that then goes to a tube which carries the waste gases, and that tube we then connect to this cylinder which is full of charcoal, and that basically absorbs the waste anaesthetic gas, so we're not gassing ourselves with isoflurane there. You'll notice on the very top of the anaesthetic machine there is a red knob. If we press that, you can hear a flow of oxygen. That's what we call the emergency oxygen button. And if we look at the back of the anaesthetic machine here, this is the pipe coming from the oxygen cylinder. We see there's this pipe coming off that, which leads up to that emergency oxygen button. So when we press that button, we're getting pure oxygen from the cylinder going up directly into the circuit. So it doesn't actually go through the vaporizer, and so it doesn't have any anaesthetic gas associated with it. So we've connected one type of circuit to the anaesthetic outlet. We can connect to any number of different types of circuit. They basically connect in here with a universal fitting.